In 2018, Bethesda officially introduced us to Starfield. Expectations were set early on. The trailer received 3.6 million views and almost 40,000 likes. This game is the first new intellectual property by Bethesda in 25 years. Not only that, it's probably one of the biggest exclusives for Xbox since Halo. This is the game Todd Howard has dreamt of making since the early days of Bethesda. There is a lot riding on the success of this game, and with this we get a lot of hype, a lot of marketing, and a lot of Todd Howard talking, and we all know how that goes. So in today's video I want to cover off one particular topic, and that is, should we be concerned about Starfield? Before we get started, I think it's worth pointing out that I'm not a hater of Todd Howard or Starfield. One of my favourite games is Oblivion. I played Skyrim, I played Morrowind, I played Fallout, I even played Fallout 76 and enjoyed it. However, like many of you, I have been lied to by major game studios in the past, and this has caused me to be somewhat pessimistic when it comes to new title announcements. Leave a like if you were also traumatized by Cyberpunk. The Starfield marketing has been like nothing I've ever seen before. It is crazy how much they put into the advertisement of this game. And if there's one thing that Todd Howard is great at, it's sales pitches. But unfortunately, he tends to get a little bit carried away, and he exaggerates just a tiny little bit.
These NPCs are not scripted. And it works, it actually works perfectly. Our artists have painstakingly modeled over 9,000 objects. We actually have recorded around 1,000 of the most popular names for him to say. We have over 40,000 lines of recorded dialogue. All new rendering technology. Yes! We made a real one.
Wait, what?
Mods transferred, played, and shared for free on Xbox One.
By the way, that video has 4.4 million views and 178,000 likes. The point I'm trying to make is Todd Howard, he's known for extending the truth, exaggerating just a tiny fraction. So it'd be safe to assume that he's told one or two porkies about Starfield. Now obviously with the game not being out yet, all we can do is speculate as to what is true, what is false, and what has been exaggerated. And with this, I have a list of stuff which is of concern to me.
You may be wondering, just how big is this game? So we thought we'd take one last moment and show you. You can also land and explore anywhere on the planet. And it's not just this planet, it's all the planets in the system. Over 1,000 planets, all open for you to explore.
1,000 procedurally generated planets. What could go wrong?
Planets are different colors, but the gameplay never evolves beyond walking and mining.
It's an unimaginably huge open universe that invites exploration, but one where nothing of significance ever happens.
No Man's Sky was the original inventor of the procedurally generated planets. And as you just heard, it wasn't necessarily that popular or that breathtaking as you may think. However, unlike No Man's Sky, Starfield aims to have some specific planets which will be the same for everyone. These main planets will be the basis of the whole plot of the game, so they are quite important, which just leaves the other 1,000 planets to be there for what exactly? Exploration, I'm assuming? Perhaps mining for resources and building a settlement, because we know how much fun it is building settlements.
Another settlement has said that they need our help. I'll mark it on your map.
The concern for me here is that 1,000 extra planets don't seem to add to the whole plot and story of the game. I mean, yes, it's a nice touch, the universe is endless, of course you want to explore it, but what sort of exploration are we going to get from these planets?
There are over 1,000 planets out there, just waiting for you to visit. We want you to feel like explorers, breaking ground on new planets, exploring every inch of a mostly untouched galaxy.
1,000 planets to explore sounds amazing, up until the point that you realise that 90% of them are just going to be deserted and nothing more than a bunch of rocks. And have you noticed as well that in all the clips that you seem to be doing the same thing, which is of course walking? I get it, it's probably done for cinematic effect, but at the same time, at no point have I seen the spaceship flying within the atmosphere, or of course riding around on a little space buggy. You can even see in the footage that there's an option to fast travel to the planet, but as I said, all landing sequences are just that, they're a sequence. It's not something that you have to manually do, and once you land, you get out and you explore. But what if you're 2 miles away from a point of interest? Do you then have to get back in the spaceship, travel out into space again, choose that point and travel back down? It just doesn't seem very clear, and it just seems very odd that you just can't fly on the planet, you know, like in No Man's Sky. There is a huge emphasis on the fact that if you go to the same planet as a friend, you'll have a completely different player experience.
I think what's cool about this whole system that we generate the planet itself as a procedural content, but the handcrafted content itself comes as the player explore. So even if your friends were to visit the same planet that you had, you would have a different story to tell.
They have shown a wide variety of points of interest, and some of them look spectacular, but a lot of these seem canon to the main story and the main planets. So the question remains, how many handcrafted points of interest will be generated on a planet? What is the likelihood of running into a duplicated handcrafted asset? And looking at the size of some of these planets, how much variety can there truly be? Let's be honest, on a game like Skyrim, sometimes some of the dungeons can seem a bit repetitive, and these guys are trying to create a whole universe. And if this game is as detailed as they make it out to be, what will the overall performance be once you start loading up 1,000 planets?
We want to give this team the time. I think Matt says we have every QA person in our entire company
state of Washington,
like playing Starfield right now, looking at bug counts, looking at quality and where we are. The nice thing about what we showed today, from my perspective, is that was the game. Like as I said, we've not a little bit humble brag, but
there we go,
you know, we've been playing the game for quite a while, and that is the game.
It is claimed that this is going to be the least buggy Bethesda game that we've seen to date, which doesn't seem like that big of a claim. Redfall, which released earlier this year, was another Bugfesda game with lots of bugs, and it was so bad that they even released an apology. The ironic thing is, if it wasn't for the acquisition of ZeniMax Media by Microsoft, Starfield would have released a lot sooner.
Truth be told, when the acquisition closed, this game had a significantly earlier ship date than where we're actually launching it, even significantly later than the date that we once had for the game, but it was earlier than that before. So
we've already seen a lot of improvements since that infamous trailer with the 30 FPS, the shoddy gunfights, and the frame drops. But it does make you wonder, did they improve the gun gameplay because people complained about it, or because it was already in the works and the QA team had come back and said, no, this needs to improve? It's already been said on record as well that the consoles will be limited to 30 FPS.
We do lock it at 30 because we want that fidelity, we want all that stuff. We don't want to sacrifice any of it.
Once again, it seems like a very strange decision based on the fact that this is a next-gen game, but apparently it's going to make the game run smoother, it will look better and be more optimized. We hope. This year has seen countless games be released in a very unoptimized way, and in a style which has caused memory leaks, game crashes, and all sorts of fuckery. So how confident can we really be about Bethesda releasing a game on day one with no issues? Me personally, I'm expecting an apology tweet in about a week after release. But anyway, my last and final concern, and this is probably one of the most unpopular opinions I'm going to have, it's probably the fanboys.
I can't believe I get to stand near you, breathing the same air. I've got to have every molecule.
The average Todd Howard fan, am I right? The Bethesda fanbase are so loyal that they keep buying Skyrim every time it's re-released, and get this, at full retail price. I mean, are you really a fan unless you own Skyrim on PC, Xbox, PlayStation and Toaster? The thing is, Bethesda know this, and they know that if they just put in the right amount of nostalgia and callbacks to other games, then they'll have a winner. This game is already being dubbed Game of the Year, and let's be honest, there's no real competition, and even if it is dog shit, the fact that it has such a loyal fan base, you just know it's going to sell loads of copies. What other game studios have you seen trying to sell merch for a game that hasn't even been released yet? And they do it so casually too, like, oh look, here's a watch which is in this game, maybe you should buy it. Oh look, Starfield controller, better go buy it. Oh, Starfield console, look, we painted it white and put stripes on it, now it's Starfield.
They'll buy just about anything.
My biggest fear is that any genuine criticisms of the game or improvements or patch updates that will be needed will just get washed over by the Bethesda echo chamber of all the fanboys just laughing away going, ha ha ha, it just works, it's okay to have bugs. Believe it or not, I am excited for Starfield. I think it has a lot of potential, and it could genuinely be a good game for years to come. And even if it is somewhat of a flop on day one, I am confident that the modern community will fix the game. And as much as I'm joking about it, it is a true fact though, that the modern community are the ones who have been keeping these titles alive for such a long time. So yes, I have concerns for Starfield. I'm pretty confident not everything Todd Howard has said has been completely true, and I'm sure day one is going to be quite rocky. But even still, I'm going to buy the game because I do own like about 5 copies of Skyrim. I'm one of those fanboy losers. So yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Am I right? Am I right? Anyway, on that bombshell, I'll end the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd love to know if I have a valid point or am I just being stupid. Feel free to like the video or dislike it as much as you want. Maybe consider subscribing, and I'll leave a couple of videos on the screen for you which you might enjoy. And on that, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.